Hello, everyone. Welcome to BizChicksTV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today we are here with our friend, Miss Robin Shimizu, all the way from Sacramento, California, talking about happy, healthy habits. Because if you don't have your health, you cannot keep your wealth. So we are so glad to have her in the studio today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you this morning, Robin?
Hello there, Terry. I'm just doing great. Thank you. Good to see you. Good to see
It's
you
great
that you're
to be
back in
seen.
Sacramento for a little while anyway.
Yep, it's great to be seen and not viewed. But yes,
So
that's something.
I just wanted to take a few minutes this morning to remind people about, we're all about healthy habits, right?
Mm-hmm.
Happy, healthy habits. And I found this cute little article last night about how to start a good habit. And
Oh,
one of the things that they talked about is that we really need to shun our habits and
hmm.
start rituals. And
Oh,
that's how you start a new healthy habit is
okay.
starting by rituals. Because habits, okay, so habits are automatic, right? You do it spontaneously, you do it without thinking, like waking up and reaching for your smartphone in the morning, first thing in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
That's a habit. Or changing into your jogging clothes as soon as you get home from work and go out for a run. That's a good, healthy habit, right? But a
Mm-hmm.
ritual is an opposite of a habit, and a ritual requires intention, attention, and engagement, and it's never automatic. And so it requires mindfulness and attention for you to just start this new um, habit that you want to take on. So I just wanted to remind people that okay, so I'll give you an example of a ritual that I started. I guess last week when we started talking about intermittent fasting, Terry, we had a little conversation about that.
Yes,
So
we
I just
did.
tried it. Okay, I'm going to try this for my brain health because intermittent fasting is supposed to be so good. Your body shuts down for a number of hours and your brain has the chance to kind of readjust and clean itself during this
Oh,
fast.
uh-huh.
So I decided, okay, I'm gonna do this. Intermittent fasting has lots of other benefits, physical benefits and mental benefits
It
and
had
stuff.
so many benefits. I was stunned by the conversation
Yes.
last week. Mm-hmm.
So in after dinner, so after dinner, we finished dinner. I brushed my teeth, I washed my face, I put my mouth guard in. So 8 o'clock, I'm all ready for bed,
Mm-hmm.
and then I don't eat because I've got my mouth guard in, and and I feel ready to go to bed. And it's only been a week that I've been doing
Mhm.
it, but it's been very it's become a ritual for me. I say,
Oh,
"Hey, Mama, we're gonna go brush your teeth now." So we both go, we get ready for bed, and it's been a very very nice thing to do in the household for us. She's not intermittent fasting because she's munching at night, and she anyway. I'm not having her intermittent fasting, but I'm having her be part of the ritual.
uh-huh.
So
Yes.
it's been very, very good for me. So I think that's my message is that a habit is something that you create by
Mm.
intention. And getting rid of bad habits is and so you shun those bad habits as much as you can, but you just start these rituals that help you during the day. And it has been helpful. I actually feel better this week than I did last week
Oh,
mentally.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because I've been sort of down in the dumps, and this
Mm.
has been very, very helpful for to me. So anyway, I go on too long.
No, no. I'm just wondering, do we need to set a ritual in order to break a habit? Because the habit is sort of um self-directing. It just sort of happens
Hmm.
because we're in the habit of doing that.
Hmm.
Whereas the ritual, by being intentional,
Hmm.
will break the pattern of the habit.
You kind of do that every morning, Terry, by getting up and going for your walk every morning. That's become a habit, right? So
It's
it's kind of a ritual. If you don't do it, it doesn't feel right in the morning.
no, I didn't get to do it this morning, and I really feel off. I feel like at some point I need to make up for that. I need to make it happen. So I don't know if that's because it's a habit or because it's a ritual.
Very good. Okay, so with that, I want to bring on Jill Weston, our guest for today.
Okay.
So let me just do a real quick introduction to the audience for to tell people about Jill a little bit if you're new to BizChicks. So Jill is fondly called a stress whisperer, using her calm vibe and healing voice to help people pause, refocus, and remember their heart's desire. She maintains a safe healing space for all levels and meets people where they are, respecting their current physical and emotional state. She facilitates down-to-earth mindfulness, movement, and breath work practices, specializing in yoga nidra. Her business Breathing Space was born out of a lifelong guiding principle: to be of service. And Jill has been teaching yoga nidra since 2012. Oh my goodness, 10 years now.
Wow.
Certifying through certifying through California College of Ayurveda and Dr. Mark Halpern. And she's returning her coursework and hosting yoga nidra teacher trainings since 2018. And she's also a dynamic mindfulness facilitator through Niroga Institute. So with that, we have Jill. She's online with ourbreathingspace.com, and we'll show her website in a minute. But she is our calm your chaos stress whisperer. So with that, let's bring Jill on, and she can tell us what she has for us today.
Okay.
Good morning to both of you and everyone live and on the replay.
I'm moving these boxes around. Hold on, Jill. I want to make you a bit dizzy. Okay.
Okay. We're gonna talk about being undizzy and a way to be better busy. So I'm fine with you moving the boxes. How are both of you?
All is well. How are you this morning?
I am well. I am well. Today I want to talk about business creativity, which is something that BizChicks helped me with a lot. Maybe going on 5 years ago, I think, when I first met up with the entire organization. I had known Robin for a while. So Terry often likes me to do relaxing meditations. And unfortunately today, Terry, I'm going to energize you towards the end. I'm going to show you how to relax and energize. But for this, I want a little more energy for business creativity. My name is Jill Weston, for those of you who have not met me before or haven't joined BizChicks. And today what I want to talk about is a pretty short program, maybe 10 minutes or less. So anything that I share that feels like it was shared too quickly, know that you're going to go back through some of this process more slowly. But I want to give you a couple different tips and information and then show you a little bit of breath work. But know that you can come back and do all of this slower. And feel free, both Terry and Robin, if you want to interact a little bit. I'm going to be asking the audience some questions. And you can just talk to your screen or the ladies can come on live. Two things I want to share is how to create your creativity by looking at the best time to do that and the best space. So considering the best time and the best space to create your creativity. And it falls a little bit into what Robin was talking about as far as whether it's a habit or a ritual. How do you enhance that? How do you create or cultivate more of it? How do you hang on to that? So sometimes we'll say, well, I'm going to write my blog at 6 o'clock in the morning. Or, oh my gosh, I have to write my blog. I need to develop something on my website. I need to make 5 phone calls. All of that is pretty aggressive and it needs to be done. But the tips that I'm going to give you are going to give you that extra boost to be able to do those things.
Okay.
So this is really the focus today is what is the best time for you to create and some things to look at? And have you created your best space? So for the time, for example, I am not a morning person. I am here on BizChicks because I committed to do it. But I did some things around me because I know I don't like to get up early. And I'm going to cover what some of those are. So really take a look at your patterns in the past and figure out the best time for you to be creative in your business. My voice, for example, is not my yoga nidra voice right now. So if somebody were to call me, say someone called me yesterday and said, hey, give me a call back tomorrow at 8 a.m. I want to talk about your business. I want to book a class. I want to know more. I would not call them because I know I'm not at my best and my voice is not at the best. So thinking about the time frame, when are you the most creative? When are you interested in doing something? And when are you sleepy? And look back over your past. I suggest to people, if you notice the last 3 times that you went to write your blog, for example, and you just could not get it done, and you remember a time that you could get it done, look at that time frame. Couple other things. So when is the best time to create? When is the best time to communicate? As I mentioned, I don't usually do phone calls early in the morning. Now, unfortunately, sometimes I'm up until 2 a.m, but maybe that means I can talk to someone in a different time zone.
True. That's what I was thinking. Because by the time I'm ready to make my phone calls, I'm sleepy. And that's not good.
And you have to have an awareness instead of just going, I don't know why these phone calls aren't working. I don't know why I'm not selling my products or booking my services. I don't know why I'm irritable. Look historically for, I'm not going to count my childhood because I think I used to get up in the morning, but pretty much historically for 45 years, I've not been a morning person. And sometimes I've been encouraged that whole, well, create a habit, wake up, 2 hours earlier. I'm sorry, I'm not effective at 4 a.m. 4 a.m. is the prime time to meditate, not for me, so I don't do it. The other thing that I won't go into is our organs. If you look at Ayurveda is kind of a classical Indian approach to health and to foods. There's many different systems, even in Chinese meridian systems. Your organs have a prime time to be operating and resting. And sometimes we're going against that grain. Cortisol, different subject, hormones in your body are released at different times. So figure out your optimum time to be creative and tackle some of your tasks and your projects. The other subject that I'm going to talk about is, what is your best space? And my business is called Breathing Space because I literally wanted to create space for people to relax, to decrease anxiety, to be effective. In this sense, what I'm talking about space is, do you work best at home, in an office, at the coffee shop, where in your home? So for the viewers, I was sharing with Robin and Terry, when I first set up last night for the show, and I was facing a different direction. When I got on this morning, the sun was behind me coming through the curtains, and it just wasn't appealing. It was distracting me. So I turned myself around. Where is the best space inside of your home, inside of your office to work? What do you see or hear as you're about to be creative? So I went back to, if you're blogging, maybe if you're recording yourself, what are you seeing? It matters somewhat what the viewers are seeing, but what are you looking at? And if you're looking at a mess, if you're looking at something that distracts you, if you're looking at 10 things that you need to do, your mind probably is not going to focus. The temperature in your workspace. I love a lot of heat. I rarely have my air conditioner on. But when I'm on camera, I have to watch that I'm not sweating because nobody wants to look at that. And then sometimes I literally need cold air. So sometimes if I'm starting to get a little bit tired, I'll turn on the air conditioner to wake me up. Things like music, TV, or silence. And I will ask the audience, do you work best with music? What kind of music? Do you work best with earpods or a speaker somewhere? Do you like the TV on or off? Or do you like silence? And do you even know any of that? Because most people are like, well, I just always have my radio on. I just always have the TV on. I always have this song on. Is that helping with your creativity? It can both be distracting and sometimes remind you of things. Sometimes when I hear a certain song, my nervous system automatically calms down. When I hear other songs, it brings my energy up. Sometimes when I have the TV on, it can be distracting because I'm looking over here and I'm looking up and I'm halfway listening, but I think that I'm focusing on my work. And I wonder, gosh, I don't have any ideas for how to write this. I can't find this word to use. I can't remember Robin's phone number. I can't really remember who I'm supposed to call today. So I don't know about for both of you. Do you tend to work in silence or music, or does it depend?
I don't do music, but I do have the TV going a lot of times for like white noise in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't have a lot of traffic through the house. So it sort of keeps me company as I move around. And then I realize, oh, I missed that whole movie because
Yeah.
And Robin, how about for you?
I prefer silence. I work best when I'm quiet and not distracted. I had a roommate once who literally blasted music in her ears and would study. I didn't know how she could do that. So people are so different. That's how she studied. She had to have that music blasting in her ears to study well. And she did well in school. So I don't know. And I had to have complete silence. So I would go in my room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So those are perfect examples for those of you listening of, two different people, two different things at work. And it also may be notice for yourself that maybe you have a go-to song or you do have the TV on. And if you notice that that's not working, it may be the time. So in the morning, it may work to listen to music. At night, maybe it doesn't. Or maybe when you are, creating reels, when you're making phone calls, certain things work and others don't. So really looking at the time frame of when you're using some of these creative or considering some of these creative ways, really look at what works for you at a certain time.
Okay.
And then the other thing I'm going to wrap up with is, do you work better alone or in a group? So there's lots of business models if you do co-working space or maybe even just sitting next to somebody in a coffee shop.
Mm-hmm.
I have a couple friends that it's really helpful for me to call them and say, this is what I wrote. This is what I'm thinking about. These are my ideas. Can you help with that? And then other times I'm like, okay, I just can't handle anybody else's input, good, bad, or indifferent, and I need to do it by myself. So again, just having an idea of that. A couple other things that I wanted to cover is in the space, I love essential oils. So I have both lavender, which is typically relaxing, but sometimes stimulates some people. So it can be uplifting. I have a certain brand for certain things. I have a certain type of lavender for certain things. I have peppermint. So sometimes I have this sitting on the table and literally if I'm like, I just can't think of that word. I don't know if I feel like creating right now. And I pull out these essential oils.
Mm-hmm.
Food, a friend of mine gave me some dried figs. And right now I am really, really loving these figs. They're quick, they're crunchy. It's not like getting up and making a whole meal because if you get up, you're hungry, you're not creative, you wander off to create your meal, you're going to wander off and do something else. So quick, easy snacks that you also can't distract yourself. So I have to go to the refrigerator, I have to cut the things, I have to heat up by then an hour has passed and more than likely your creativity time frame has passed. Water or tea. And my mug, one of my mugs that I like says, own your own magic. So do you have like this mug to me feels good. So sometimes when I'm sitting, I'm thinking, what do I need to create? How do I need to do this? And literally hanging on to this mug feels good versus a different mug. So think about those things. And then also, do you do best on a PC? Do you do best on a PC versus an iPad versus your phone? I'm in a writing group. I sent both of you a sample of, I met someone through a writing group and we were writing and I did a voiceover. So when we go to the writing group, I just assume we need to bring paper and pen. And the lead of the writing group said, you know what, get those thoughts out quickly, get that creativity. Do you type fast? She's like, you can bring in a PC. You can bring in an old-fashioned typewriter if you want to. And then we talked about pens. She had some really cool bamboo pens that, at first I was intrigued with, and I was like, the ink doesn't flow. So what pencil are you using in your iPad? All of that. So I know I gave you a lot of information, but in summary, what is your best time to be creative?
Mm-hmm.
And then what is your best space, and what can you do in that space? So home or office, comfort things around you, music, TV, silence, even clothing. Like, are you comfortable in the clothes that you're wearing when you're sitting down trying to create a project? Alone or with a group, PC or not? And then lastly, and I'm hesitating in case there's questions, but lastly, I'll share what we're about to go into. And then if there's any questions in the chat, I can answer that. I want to show you a breathing technique. There's a more intricate, I don't want to use the word fancy way to do this. And there's a fancy word called Nadi Shodhana, but don't worry about that. There's a science to it and there's a history. I reference that because I don't want anybody watching who is experienced with this to go, why did Jill show that version? That's a shortened version. We're just keeping this simple, which we like to do on BizChicks. So if you want to go into the deeper part of the breathing, you can. It's sometimes called alternate nostril, and you're closing one nose, opening the other, doing a certain number of rounds. I'm going to give you a short version. And the idea is and I learned this when I did my breathwork training, we typically breathe more out of one nostril at different times of the day because it's connected to our nervous system. So that's the easiest, quickest explanation. Your body and your breath is supporting you throughout the day by switching up which nostril is more dominant. I can't always tell by putting my finger underneath the nose, but that's a way you can usually feel one nostril working more. The right side is going to be your more active, your more awake state. And when you help it work a little bit more, it increases your physical energy, increases your heart rate and your cortisol, which is one of those hormones. So right side more active, left side is more resting. Heart rate and blood pressure drop down a little bit, and it's more of a resting state. So if you want to and need to be more creative, I'm going to recommend that you do the right side. Again, there's lots of ways to do it with hand positions. I'm going to show you very, very simple. So again, for anybody that's a yoga teacher or an expert in what we call pranayama breathing, I know this is very simple. It's not the whole thing, but it's an effective technique. So what you would do, I'll demonstrate real quick and then we'll actually do it. You would exhale completely. Exhale out of your nose or mouth at this point, just what's easy for you. And then you're going to slightly block your left nostril, and you can do it with either hand, just slightly block. You don't have to press hard. And you're going to inhale and exhale just through your right side. And nothing aggressive, just easy breathing. If you do get lightheaded, take your finger off and stop. Just easy breathing. In through the nose, out through the nose. And then take your hand down for a minute, pause. We're going to switch to the left side. I think, yeah, I forget because I mirror when I'm looking at myself. So now switch and we're going to do the left side. So slightly block your right side of your nose. And then inhale, exhale through your nose. Inhale, exhale. Continue on as I talk. So again, you have just an easy hold on that side. And this would be the side when you want to be in more of a resting state and you want your heart rate to drop down. And then you can drop your hand. So again, there's fancier ways to hold. There's also two different ways of doing this. You can block one side completely or the side. So let's say that we want to activate the right side. On the left, you don't have to hold as tight and you can create a little vibration. But again, to keep it simple, I would say block completely and just see if you get a desired effect. So again, this is when you want to create a little more energy. You want to wake yourself up, and you're going to exhale completely. And we're just going to do the right side. So block your left nostril, and then just inhale and exhale through the right. Inhale and exhale through the right nostril. And keep your eyes open if you can, because you want to create more of that awake state. And then you can play around and breathe a little faster through the nose, a little deeper. And notice what's happening in your body. Go ahead and continue. Just notice if you feel your heart rate increase a little bit, your blood pressure may be increasing a tiny, tiny bit, maybe lightheaded. Continue a little more. And you can drop down your hand and just take inventory a little bit. Do you feel like your heart rate has changed at all? Do you feel a little more alert? And it's not going to be like a shot of caffeine. It's not going to be like nerves standing on end. We don't want to over alert the nervous system. We're really just telling the body, hey, body, you're instructing the body. The body does what it does. You're breathing how you're breathing. And with breath work, it's like you're instructing the body and said, hey, I need you right now. I need a little more creativity. Like, okay, I'm going to wake you up. And so if either of you want to share if you had a little increased energy by doing that. And if you didn't, that's fine.
Yes. I always just feel calm because I'm breathing intentionally. So I don't know if that's just psychological for me, because either way I felt calmer. I wanted to close my eyes.
That's why I said keep your eyes open, because you're telling the brain it's not time to sleep or rest. And I would just say with some work at a time, maybe when you feel more sleepy, like you probably, Terry, you get up early.
I get up very early.
You were probably, you're 4 hours, let me see. Yeah, 4 hours, 4.5 hours into being alert already. So imagine doing this when it's around 5 o'clock or 6, and you're starting to hit that dive. So okay. You later today, and you can reach out and let me know if you do, again, right side nostril breathing to increase that physical activity, increase your heart rate, and see if that works then.
Okay.
Robin, how about for you? You're muted.
Are you muted, Robin?
Yeah. I said, even when you said you might get a little lightheaded, I thought, oh, I'm getting a little lightheaded at that exact moment. I did feel the difference in terms of the energy in my body, breathing on the right side. Okay. And I'm going to use the left side tool for helping me get to sleep at night. That is so cool. This has been a really great reminder too, in a lot of ways, Jill, about being so intentional about creating your space for creativity. This has been great.
Good.
Yeah, it works for me.
There's a longer version on the breath work that you can actually alternate both. It's not super complicated, but again, for this overall show that I wanted to present on creativity, just looking again at your time, what time are you trying to be creative, the spaces, and then how to change that, how to change the feeling that you have a little bit with the breathing. You can also just breathe a little bit deeper and a little bit faster, but specifically, again, because I'm always fascinated with our bodies. Our body will help us out more. And I was completely intrigued the first time I learned that, we have a dominant side of our nose.
I had no idea.
And it's also a cycle. I think it's a 90-minute cycle. So every 90 minutes, our nostril will change dominant.
Oh my gosh.
I think it's every 90 minutes, I believe.
Well, we have a comment here from one of our viewers saying they're going to have to watch the replay and try that because they're driving right now. And your voice is very calming. Now, we don't want you to put anybody to sleep.
Yes.
Thank you for being cognizant of the fact that you don't want to go to sleep right now, driver.
And again, when you're trying to create that energy, technically, once you learn how, you could do the right nostril driving. But as the person chiming in said, again, focus on driving right now, and hopefully my voice isn't putting you to sleep. But that is my calling card. I do voice recordings and sessions, and know that this is not my favored voice, because it's not the time of day for me. So thank you for sharing that. And that is it for me. So I want to thank everybody for listening in. We went a little bit longer, but
we're fine, because we want to make sure that we show people how to get in touch with you. And let me put this up on the screen. This is Jill's Inside Timer website. And so if you're looking for her, you can find her over there on Insight Timer.
I have a live yoga nidra coming up September 4th, Sunday at 11. And the app is free, and then it's donation based. But if you want to do yoga nidra with me, that's September 4th on Sunday.
Okay, and then I'm going to stop sharing that so I can share your website. Hold on a moment.
Sure. And while you're doing that, I'll mention too that I'm going to be collaborating with some new studios here in Elk Grove if you're close in the Sacramento area, also in Sacramento. A couple of retreats. I'm doing a collaboration and offering some wellness classes at a church here in Sacramento, and also some other small businesses. And
so all those under your upcoming events?
It is. Some of them aren't posted yet because we're still working on some dates for September.
Okay.
But I do have a lot of things online and in person going on.
All righty, dighty. So I'm also going to make sure that I still have the banner running here saying that you are talking. I also am going to put up the link for your website.
Thank you.
And we're going to put that over in the chat for those of you who are looking for her events. You can find them over there on ourbreathingspace.com. And we're going to make sure that we get that into the chat. Just a second. Hold it.
Yeah, one of the things I want to mention to the audience is that Jill provides so many different ways to access her services that it's very convenient for people. You know, coming in person is awesome, and it's the best way to do yoga nidra, I think. But also a Zoom yoga nidra is very, very nice as well. And I really appreciate it, Jill, that you provide us with the Zoom option, because, you know, it's hard to get out sometimes. And so I really like the combination of being able to, if I could, get there in person or do it on Zoom. And Insight Timer is awesome as well. So it's great to have so many options, and you've got so many classes up now on your website. It's really great. Thank you so much for your services.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I try to make everything both affordable, accessible, and of good value. So if someone's like, I don't have enough money, there's options. You can rent one of the recordings, and you have full more access if you want to use it twice, for example. There's classes I offer for nonprofits, and it's a reduced price because the nonprofit's taking care of it. If it's not in the time zone, there are ways. So I don't get on people about quote excuses like some people are like, oh, there's no excuse. That doesn't feel good to me. Just sometimes it's a matter of talking with people, saying, how can I accommodate you? How can I make it accessible? And we can pretty much find a way to do that.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing. Thank you so much, Jill. We just really enjoy it when you come. We feel so calm when you really calm our chaos.
Thank you.
We thank you so much. Robin?
So next week we have Dr. Rogers with us, Dr. Shakanda Rogers with us.
Yes.
We haven't been able to see her for a while, so we're very excited about that. She's a professional licensed clinical psychologist, and so it'll be good to see her as well. So thank you so much. And introducing us to Dr. Rogers as well.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
You know, it's all about connections. We just want to thank you so much, Jill. And guys, we highly recommend this. If you're looking to just take a staycation, maybe just a session with Jill would do it. Hmm, interesting. I'm glad I had that thought. Okay. Oh my goodness. So, with that, we want to remind you that it's okay to make money in your business. So, don't forget to go to the front of your own line, and we'll see you tomorrow. We'll be talking tech and English with the Biz Chicks. Also, if you'd like to become a part of the Biz Chicks community, you can join us over there on bizchicks.net. Um, and also, if you once you get there, it'll take you to the Heartbeat community where you can set up a profile and let us know more about what it is you do and how you serve. So, with that, we want to remind you that you can also contact us by joining Biz Chicks by texting Biz to 33777. And we would love to know more about you and yours. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget, go to the front of your own line. Bye bye.